for the state of Maine. Not nearly as massive amount of damage as they might have thought it would be. And here we are, the sun's shining. It's going to be really warm today, and I'm really glad to be here. So I want to welcome you all, and we are in the midst of the turning seasons, the what? And we're also in the Jewish tradition in the midst of high holidays. The book has turned and a new year has started with Hashanah. This season is an invitation to prepare, harvest, come together, and nourish our need for belonging and being a part of our community. I welcome each and every one of you, each of us, and may our hearts be filled and our souls be nourished. I think with that, we're going to do our prelude, and it is called "There's Some Kiss We Want" by Coleman from his album "I Want Burning." And Dave is being our technology person today. Thank you.
close the language door.
Well, that was a good thing. Close the language door.
I'll try to keep going. Let's see.
The moon won't use the door. Only the wind. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm glad you did all that. Okay. Well, we're going to close the light. I wasn't saying anything. We're going to close the lighting door and open up the window with a moment of century silence. Lee, would you like to come up and light the chalice? And here's a reading for the Chalice Lighting today from the Union Worship Athens. Little flame, light the tending kindlings of our souls, and soon a roaring blaze shine, warm in love and communion. From this little spark, may a fire of passion spread from heart to heart, and light our way, sweet spirit, and light our way. Before I do some opening words, I'm just going to give you a little tour and ask you to, after service, come up and, if you want, check out things on the altar. I brought some of my spiritual meditation grounding toys. There are alchemical wisdom cards, which were created by the former Peter of the Sufi lineage that I'm initiated into. In the blue bowl are roses from the Dargah of Hazrat Inayat Khan, who brought Sufism to the West. And I got those roses in 2000 when I went to India on a pilgrimage. And notice their aroma still today, almost 23 years later. And then there's the Sufi Book of Life, and then there's behind it, there's a little pouch, and you can pull a card. And then there's angel cards. And we have beautiful cone flowers that are giving their last color to us. And I brought in some herbs from my herb garden. So you can have fun afterwards. Last week, we shared in our water ceremony, our in-gathering service, where we honored in this tradition the cycles of the season and the marking of time. We brought water, we shared stories, filled our container, making it ready for the coming year. It brought up for me the question of what am I harvesting and how do I take care of, how do I till my precious ground? In leaving last week and driving home and then getting home, I was left with that question continuing to just circle around me. And it brought me back to my Sufi path, into my care for you, my Eve community. I'd like you to join me in an opening song which uses sacred phrases from the Sufi tradition. Ya Jamil is the divine beauty. And in the Islamic tradition and in the Sufi traditions, there a lot of prayer and chanting called zikr is chanting and singing, hearing the beautiful names of God. Sometimes it talks about the 99, and sometimes it talks about the 9,999 beautiful names of God. So Ya Jamil is one of those names. And Ishq Allah Mabud Layla, that's Ishq Allah Mabud Layla, it's a phrase that's very difficult to translate into English, but it is for me, the ishq is just all the spirit, all the essence, all the connection to the one that's all around us. Sometimes, it's called the guru, the ishq. And Allah Mabud Layla is God, or the one, is love, lover, and love. All of those things. And Dave has been working on this. I want to say that I'll sing it once through, and then we'll do it together. And don't worry, I don't sing well. I had throat surgery a number of years ago. I don't sing that well, but that's not the point. We're going to just kind of do this together. And I also want to thank Ira, who yesterday in the midst of the storm I reached out to, and he and Randy he was practicing, and he and Randy have also been singing. So there's a few of us who have been looking at this sooner than today. All right, we'll do it once, just.
Yeah, let's all stand. And Ira, I don't know if you want to play the second time around. We're on the third fret up. If you want to give it a try. Here's our first note.
It was fun yesterday to read what Dave's little preview of today was. I was like, okay, that helps ground this all. And Dave emailed me less than 2 weeks ago. There had been a change, and would I do the service on the 17th? Huh. Well, without much thought, I said yes. And I said yes even though I wasn't feeling in a particularly good place, or I wasn't feeling particularly grounded. The yes bubbled up from my connection and care for you and our UU community. But even though I felt that, a couple days later, I emailed Dave, said, I'm not in a good place, and I think I said, I got nothing. The I got nothing mood had gone along with misplacing my beautiful purple glasses. And I had turned the house inside out, literally taking piece by my detective friends said, take every piece of the garbage out individually. I did. And I did not find my glasses. It just was one more thing that left me feeling unmoored, unable, unconnected. So despite all that, I did show up last week. And maybe it was because of the, or despite of, or whatever. I still had, I got nothing feeling, but here I was for our gathering service, bringing my patent tap water in tow. And it left me thinking a whole lot of things, but I just loved the ritual. I loved the history. I loved what it was. I felt the belonging, that all things, you know, unsettled, the chimes, just settled in. And I was left with this feeling of, well, what am I harvesting? What, you know, because I could keep tilling the unable, unconnected, unclear, ungrounded, everything. But what did I want? The other thing that happened last week at the service, and without much fanfare, Dave shared the UU principles with us. They were like a little reminder to principles reminded me to keep it simple, to go back to the basics, to play with my spiritual toys. I was experiencing the simple truth of belonging in this UU fellowship. I went home feeling better than when I left in the morning, and I went right away to my little computer, opened up, and went to the UU website. Because I was just drawn to, because those principles and hearing them, we don't have a lot of dogma, right? There's not dogma with the UU experience. And, Dave had just kind of, oh, here they are, our principles. And I wanted to share them again because they seem so precious at this turn of the season, this year that we've spent in belonging, and how it is that having something like principles could help to moor me when I was feeling literally adrift. And the first principle, the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. A free and responsible search for truth and meaning. The right conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part. So here I was harvesting on the website, harvesting these words. And then I found myself reading out loud. We live out these principles within a living tradition of wisdom and spirituality drawn from sources as diverse as science, poetry, scripture, and personal experience. These are the 6 sources our congregations affirm and promote. Before I say these 6 sources, I have to say I probably read them, but I certainly didn't remember them. And when talking with Dave later on in the week, I realized that these sources all are us. We are connected to these sources that become this living tradition of the use, of us on our spiritual path. And so I was like, wow, these sources. And you have them in your program today, and I want to read them. Direct experience of that transcending mystery and wonder, affirmed in all cultures, which moves us to a renewal of the spirit and an openness to the forces which create and uphold life. Words and deeds of prophetic people which challenge us to confront powers and structures of evil with justice, compassion, and the transforming power of love. Wisdom from the world's religions, which inspires us in our ethical and spiritual life. Jewish and Christian teachings which call us to respond to God's love by loving our neighbors as ourselves. Humanist teachings, which counsel us to heed the guidance of reason and the results of science, and warn us against adulteries of the mind and spirit. Spiritual teachings of earth-centered traditions which celebrate the sacred circle of life and instruct us to live in harmony with the rhythms of nature. All of a sudden, my nothing diminished, and the everywhere I look, there you are, reappeared. I realized, was reaffirmed that I believe in UU principles, and I knew I was a part of the source. I was part of what makes up this individual and diverse group of living traditions of UUs. What a wonderful thing at the end of our year, at the end of a year of talking about belonging, to I belong, we belong with each other. And I was in the act of harvesting from this past year. That some of what I was harvesting was belonging, inclusion, recognition, awareness, deep, heartfelt connecting. And in picking and pulling and tilling, I also recognized and found myself accepting that there were uncomfortable feelings. How do I fit in? How do I find my own focus? How do I support the ways in which we as a congregation focus? How do I live out our values and principles without being overwhelmed or leaving others behind? I was remembering my deep desire to connect and wanting to be seen that brought me here to this UU congregation in Boulder. My being this crone, mother, grandmother, lesbian, a somewhat new rural Maine woman who signed the book to be a member that aligned perfectly with my spiritual, mystical, esoteric Sufi path. We are all harvesting. We are preparing. I am holding, we are holding the UU values. And I am holding the values of my Sufi lineage, and I recognize that there are many traditions that we all bring here with us today. For me, the goal of Sufism is not a religious goal. The goal of Sufism is to develop the capacity of the heart, the capacity to hold all the complexities of life in a container of love, and to discover the divinity inherent in all creation. Sufism is not a religion in the sense of being a system of beliefs separable from other religions, but a school of experience that focus on cultivation of the heart and the deepening of awareness through a practice of prayer, meditation, and spiritual inquiry. There are many schools of Sufism and many lineages. The Sufism of the Inayat is universalist in its acceptance of all people and castes, leading to the unfoldment of light and power latent in the human being. So if anybody asks you, what is Sufism? You could answer, Sufism is the religion of the heart, the religion in which the most important thing is to sink God in the heart of humanity. I wanted to end by sharing a prayer, and I think it was in there, so that you could all have one to take home. And towards the one, the perfection of love, harmony, and beauty, united with all the illuminated souls who form the embodiment of the messenger, the spirit of guidance. So, as of today, I've not found my glasses. I did go to Woodstock on Thursday, sometime, that wasn't today, and picked out 2 new frames, and on the 29th I'm going to pick them up. So I not only am going to get new glasses, I have no idea if I'm ever going to find the old ones. It'll be a great story if I do. But I have found some peace. I am starting this new season back to the basics. I got out my spiritual toys. I'm focusing on where I fit. What is my work? And what can we do together? We can breathe in and out. In and out. We can smile and welcome. And we can show up. Each of us taking a small step that opens our hearts. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I had a busy week. And we have a look at a time. Look at that, under the time zone. And I would, before we open it up to questions, the last song that I gave to you, Dave, I'd like to kind of end on that one, and then we can open up for questions. He's doing such a good job with our technology today.
Yeah.
I want to encourage people to draw in a chemical wisdom card. Do not take it home with you, so that can You can also draw from my very old special pouch a card, and on the bottom is a number, and that number is the page in the book. This will be photographed. We did some beforehand, and then I have little angel cards, and I have a Suki prayer book, and you're welcome to play. These are my Tibetan bells, which I got on my pilgrimage in India.
Let us hear then, MaryAlice. Are those called teen shows?
Yes. Any questions?
We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you'd like to show your support, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed, and help us out by sharing this message by clicking the share button. If you'd like to make a monetary donation to you, Church Holton, there is a link to our online donations in the video description down below. And again, thank you so much, and have a blessed day.